Greetings everybody and welcome to Madrid Ball. I hope you all are safe and sound. Real Madrid have once again left us disappointed for the third time in 7 days, and truly the tough times have dawned upon Carlo Ancelotti. It's been one poor result after another. All the good work that was done in the early parts of the season has been undone in the past week, and it's fascinating to see how quickly the tide has turned against Ancelotti. The team looks disorganized, we lack any structure in play. The Real Madrid players as well have been very unlike themselves in the past few days. We have seen them committing individual errors which have indeed hurt the team dearly, and definitely there's a lot of work left to be done with this team. We have run into troubled waters all of a sudden, and the days ahead will be a test of character for the coach and of course the players. So in this video we'll do the post-match analysis of ESPANYOL vs Real Madrid. We'll talk about the things that went wrong in the game. So without further ado, let's get started. And having a look at the lineup, there was Courtois in goal. In the back four there was Militao, Nacho, Alaba and Lucas Vazquez. In the midfield we had Modric, Kroos, Camavinga and Valverde, and in attack we had Vinicius and Benzema. And having a look at the lineup, it looked pretty decent on the face of it. The midfield had a nice balance of youth and experience, but all of us were wondering what was going to be the position of these players. How were they going to line up in this side? Which position were they going to hold? And honestly speaking, it was tough to track what was going on. Obviously it was pretty clear that David Alaba was playing the left back role, and I thought that was the right decision because we aren't really getting much from Nacho as a full back. So I could understand that move, but it was the midfield where Real Madrid looked a bit chaotic. It looked like they had too much flexibility. None of the players held their position for too long. They were interchanging roles. Have a look at Camavinga. Sometimes he was there on the left linking up with Vinicius. Sometimes he was dropping deep in between the two centre backs receiving the ball there, and the same applied to the other midfielders in the team. Modric visibly underperformed yesterday. Quite often he gave away position. He was losing the duels. He's yet to show the form he showed in the previous season. And Kroos, he was playing like a quarterback. He was the deepest of the midfielders. He was attempting to dictate the tempo of the team, but it was his first start in a long while, and he was looking a bit rusty. So overall, I did think that it was a bit chaotic in the midfield. It looked like the players fell victim to the over-experimentation from Carlo Ancelotti, and in the first half, Real Madrid just weren't up to the mark. The passing wasn't fluid. They couldn't create any clear-cut chances. The penetration from the wings was minimal. Lucas Vazquez and David Alaba both were ineffective on either side, and there seems to be a drop in form of Vinicius Jr., which is a very worrying sign. Probably yesterday he had his worst game of the season, and ESPANYOL were very happy with the way the proceedings were going on. They were looking comfortable on the ball. On odd occasions they were testing Courtois. They were eager to test the fragile defensive structure of Real Madrid, and I can't emphasize enough how poor the entire defense was yesterday. Collectively and individually, every single one of them was massively underperforming in the game. They were caught out of position. They were not winning duels. They were cut open frequently. The first goal that we conceded, all the defenders were at fault. Alaba wasn't quick to close down the man. The centre backs weren't quick to anticipate the danger. Lucas Vazquez, he let Raul de Thomas run past him. It was a top class finish. It was the goal of a number 9. It was simple from ESPANYOL. The entire defense was caught on the heels, and Real Madrid, even after going down, could not create much. There wasn't a well-defined structure in place. Maybe if the players were a little bit more rigid with their positions, they could have been a bit more efficient, but going into halftime, ESPANYOL would have patted their shoulders for the good work they had done in first half. They were successful in keeping Madrid quiet, and they went into halftime with the advantage and a jubilant crowd cheering them on. And we, on the other hand, were hoping that just like Madrid have done so many times in the season, they would come to life in the second half. They would show a bit more tenacious play. We needed Madrid to up the tempo, but again another defensive collapse ensured Real Madrid had a mountain to climb. It was an individual solo run from Alex Vidal. The move started with a quick free kick taken by ESPANYOL. Madrid, as usual, were disorganized at the back. Alex Vidal does a nutmeg on Nacho Fernandez. Nacho probably should have stayed back rather than coming out of the defensive line. He was impulsive to take down Vidal. It didn't look good at all in real time, and then Vidal had a lot of space to run into. Militao could have probably done a bit better because Vidal still had a lot of distance to cover after going past Nacho, but that wasn't the case, and Vidal came up with a good finish. He rounded the ball past Courtois, and it was 2-0. ESPANYOL had put themselves in the driver's seat. It was only after the second goal that Madrid looked ignited. We had to wait right till the 78th minute to watch Madrid mount a response. They took too late to start functioning as a team. Jovic and Hazard both made a significant difference coming on. Jovic was attracting the attention of many defenders, and that was helping Benzema a lot. And about Karim Benzema, where would Real Madrid be without the Frenchman? He was the only player in attack who looked determined to make a comeback. He took it upon himself to give the goals to Madrid, and the only goal that Madrid scored, it was an absolute beauty from Karim Benzema. It was delightful to watch the goal. He combines plays with Jovic on the counter. He takes on 1, he takes on 2, he takes on 3. It was a display of sheer skills and control, and the finish after doing all the hard work was totally world class. It was a goal from the top draw. Madrid were reignited. We were pushing Espanyol again late into the game, and maybe we could have got a comeback too, but as we saw, we had 2 goals ruled out for offside. Both were marvellous goals, especially the Hazard goal. Had that stood, Eden Hazard would have highly benefited from that. That would have surely enhanced his confidence, but Espanyol did the job. They hung on till the very end and took away all the points from the fixture. So overall, we weren't really expecting Madrid to drop another stinker. What we were expecting was that Real Madrid reacting like hungry lions after the Sheriff loss, but truth to be told, we looked tactically out of place, and on an individual front, the players were not playing at a good level. But having said that, we also have to give huge credit to Espanyol. They were the team who looked to have a proper plan. They were the team who knew when to sit back and when to attack. They could have scored more goals as well, so thumbs up to the Catalan minnows. But now we must talk about Carlo Ancelotti, and many of you must be frustrated by the loss, and rightly so. We have not been convincing. Many would have also started losing their patience with Ancelotti, and I can understand the frustration. We Madridistas want to see nothing but the best from the side, but in my view, I still think we need to give Ancelotti some more time to fix things. This Real Madrid is not the one we had 4 or 5 years ago. We have aging players. We have lost a lot of quality in the previous transfer window. We have a few players injured as well, so I do expect things to get better when they return. But to be realistic, we are a team in the building phase. There are some new players who need more time to gel with the team. Ancelotti has been experimenting to find the best setup, find the best tactic to get the best out of the players. I do agree that he has failed to bring about balance in the side. We have failed to show any defensive structure in the past few games. So yes, going has got tough, but in my opinion, I'll still give Ancelotti more time to build this side. Every team has their rough phases. Even Zinedine Zidane had a string of poor results somewhere around October and November last year, but he made a superb comeback from there and took us to the brink of glory. So in the same way, in my humble opinion, of course, I'll give Ancelotti some more games to show what he can do with the squad. I would like to see how he would perform this month in the Champions League and in La Liga. Nothing is lost yet, and the only thing we have done here is conceded the early advantage we had over our rivals. So I would be hoping that Ancelotti and the players get their act together very soon. There will be some bumps on the road, but now is the time for testing the coach and the players. How are they going to deal with the tough phase that they have got themselves in? How will they react to these poor results? It's going to be a long international break, and the team can analyze the things that they are doing wrong. They can analyze the things that they are doing right. They have to do a microscopic analysis of the mistakes that they have committed recently. And if Ancelotti does not learn from his mistakes, if the players do not respond the way we expect, we all have seen the way things are run in this club, and it would be difficult to see Ancelotti make it to the El Clasico. So Ancelotti has a job cut out, and will he be able to mount a response from the team? We shall find that out in the next few days. So those are my thoughts from the game, and let's conclude this video by hearing the thoughts of Carlo Ancelotti. And the coach here was blatantly honest about his assessment of the game. He didn't shy away from telling the truth. He accepted that Real Madrid was second best on the night, and when Ancelotti was asked if the defeat was an accident or if there is a real problem in the side, Ancelotti said, "Today's defeat was no accident. We didn't play well and we deserved to lose. The reaction came too late, and we are worried because 2 consecutive defeats isn't normal for this team. We need to turn this around and work on the mistakes we made today as well." He further elaborated on the loss. As he said, "I agree, we played badly. There is a lot to say. We started the game with an idea of offensive and defensive play, and then after the goal, we did not keep a cool head. We were confused and the team was not well positioned. I have to be honest, this is our worst game. We now have a truce, and it's better to play again quickly in these moments. We must meditate on everything that has happened and see what has changed from week to week." So it's good to see that at least he's honest in the interview and recognizes that there is a serious problem in the side. As I've said before, you can only work on your shortcomings when you recognize that you are at fault. But having said that, coming up with a solution to overcome these problems is a challenge in its own, and the month of October may prove to be a decisive one for Carlo Ancelotti. So that concludes my analysis of the game, and now we have the international break. We would be entering a rather boring phase without our favorite team playing. So during the break, I'll try to cover a few interviews. We'll also have some of the channel members come forward and speak their mind on how Real Madrid have performed in the past 2 months. We'll hear from the Madridistas on this channel, and I'm already very excited to hear from you all. But in the meanwhile, do let me know, what did you think about the game against Espanyol? What did you think went wrong with Madrid? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you soon. Till then, take care. Glory to Madrid. And as always, a la Madrid.